Good morning, y'all. Happy Saturday. Welcome to another YouTube video for WEIGO podcast, WEIGO podcast, aka What Else Is Going On podcast. You can find the audio version. Episodes drop every Tuesday and Friday, normally with guests, wherever it is you find your podcast, Apple, Spotify, Amazon, all of the Amazon podcasts, Amazon Music, all that good stuff. I just want to come down here and thank y'all again for the support with all the guests that I've had on most recently. Cousin Rodney, y'all literally showed up, showed out, and viewed that video, and your comments, and between y'all watching and then downloading it on the podcast app, listening. I just really appreciate y'all. You know, we got a lot going on. Everybody got a lot going on. Life be life. And there's so many amazing content creators out there. So for you to take the time out to listen to me, and then some of y'all have said y'all subscribed after hearing Rodney on, I truly just wanted to say thank you. And I'm going to continue to say thank you because, again, I don't take it for granted that you took some minutes, sometimes hours with my podcast out of your day to come on down here and show your support. It is very much appreciated. So for those of y'all that been here for a while, y'all know I do. And for those of y'all that don't, I'm about to tell you, I do gig work, meaning I'll be in and out of my car. People get in and out of my car. I've never said who the gig work is for, but I'm sure you can figure it out. But people get in and out of my car, and I hear and see the wildest things. But that allows me the flexibility to be able to create these videos and YouTube and the little reels and stuff on Instagram, which if you're not following me, by the way, head on over to Instagram at WEIGO Podcast, WEIGO Podcast. In case y'all don't know, that stands for What Else Is Going On Podcast. So I wanted to come and talk to y'all about this Diddy update with his son. Yesterday, life got a little hectic. I was at work a little later than I wanted to. Then me and the hubby, we're going to go out and continue celebrating birthday weekend, but we was tired, so we're going to go out tonight, hopefully. But I wanted to come and talk to y'all last night, but I was like, nah, I got to get off the road real quick, take a break, and come do this video to talk about this latest suit. So I want to talk about that. I want to talk about the judge who has some words for the lawyers that are defending some of Diddy's accusers, and just my thoughts on that. Aoki is out here, ooh, child, I guess just living her life. I don't know if it's best or worse, but we're gonna talk about it. First up, let's talk about Diddy. So Sean Combs' son, Christian, accused of SA on yacht that Diddy chartered. Let's see. Sean Diddy Combs has been named in another civil lawsuit, this time by a woman alleging that his son, Christian King Combs, SA'd her aboard a super yacht the Bad Boy Entertainment co-founder chartered in late 2022. Not even 2 years ago. It's like right there. But the Combs team dismissed it as just another lewd and meritless claim by the woman's attorney, Tyrone Blackburn, that is filled with the same kind of manufactured lies and irrelevant facts they say they have come to expect from the New York-based lawyer. In the new lawsuit filed Thursday in Los Angeles County Superior Court, I'm going to say Grace O, because I don't know how to say her last name. Grace O added her name to the list of people accusing the embattled business mogul of wrongdoings while he faces a federal probe into trafficking allegations. Miss O, who worked as a steward on the Victoria ship, alleged that 26-year-old rapper Christian Combs drugged and essayed her in late December 2022 aboard the charter yacht, which Diddy sold as a wholesome family excursion, but allegedly devolved into a hedonistic environment. Miss O, who was 25 around the time of the alleged incident, provided dinner and drink service on the yacht from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. The bartender also said she witnessed partying and drug use between a constant rotation of suspected ex-workers and other A-list celebrities, according to the filing reviewed by The Times. Miss O is accused Christian Combs, one of Diddy's children, with the late model Kim Porter, of SA, sexual harassment, and infliction of emotional distress, which seeks unspecified damages and a jury trial. So, y'all, she wants a jury trial. Diddy 54, who is named as a co-defendant, is being sued for premises liability as the person who leased the yacht and had full control over the staff and premises, and for aiding and abetting his son in the alleged assault. Ms. O accused him of orchestrating a subsequent cover-up of her alleged assault that ultimately resulted in her termination, May of 2023. Again, I'm calling the lady Miss O because I'm unsure of the pronunciation of her name. It's spelled O''MARCAIH. So maybe Omarkai. That's probably it, Omarkai. I don't know. So that's why I'm calling the lady Miss O. She claimed that Diddy allowed unwanted exposure to unlawful drug use, ex work, and general chaos, and created an extremely hazardous environment in which the staff was often treated with disrespect. Suspected ex workers were sprawled out unconscious, Lord, about the yacht, and it was difficult to distinguish which bottles of alcohol were laced with drugs and which were not. She described women aboard the yacht falling over themselves, panicking, or passing out after one shot of tequila or one mixed drink, which she believed were likely laced with drugs. The complaint was filed by Tyrone Blackburn, the lawyer who was also representing Diddy's former Love album producer, Rodney Little Rod Jones. In Miss O's complaint, she described Little Rod Jones as an extended member of the service staff who spent time with her at the service bar and piano room on the yacht. She also made several other allegations about illicit behavior by Diddy and Cuba Gooding Jr., whom she said she witnessed inappropriately touching Jones, as was alleged in Jones' suit. That's what I was getting ready to say. So Lil Rod was with Diddy at this party, but she's making it seem as if he was more of an extended worker like she was. He spent time with her, and now she's saying she witnessed Diddy and Cuba Gooding Jr. touching Lil Rod, which is what, again, he says in his lawsuit. So let's get on to some of the other things because I wanted to get right into it. Here we go. On or around December 28th, 2022, days before Diddy hosted a star-studded New Year's Eve party aboard the ship, which was at sea, Miss O said that she worked the late shift on the yacht when Christian Combs, who usually stayed at a nearby villa on shore, came aboard heavily intoxicated from what Miss O believed was a mixture of narcotics and alcohol. While she was serving drinks in the studio where Jones also was present, Lil Rod, that night, Christian was being particularly attentive with her, which she considered very inappropriate. Christian then insisted that she take a shot of tequila, which she believed he had spiked. She said in the filing that she felt comfortable knowing that Mr. Jones was present and didn't think any more of it, assuming she could return to work elsewhere on the yacht after the drink. But when she took the shot, she said the mood changed and things became sinister. Now, see, I watched Below Deck. Y'all watch Below Deck? I haven't watched last couple of seasons, Below Deck on Bravo. But they're not supposed to be drinking with the people, right? Like when they would try to give them a drink, I don't remember like the stews being able to drink like until afterwards. Well, I know sometimes they probably did a little, but generally they didn't. Anyway, Miss O described Christian violently grabbing her arm and hurting her as he insisted that she take another shot. After that, the situation escalated, and she described being physically assaulted by Christian, whom she alleged touched her legs, breasts, anus, and vagina, and who also tried to kiss her on her neck, face, and hands. She said the timeline then became very blurry and vague. But because Miss O said Diddy insisted on Mr. Jones recording everything, Little Rod obtained an audio recording of the alleged incident. The recording was submitted as an exhibit in Miss O's case. In a transcript of the recording that was included in the complaint to describe the alleged incident, Miss O tries to leave, but Christian does not let her. She tells him not to touch her legs or backside. After she left, the complaint said Christian later found her, refused to go back to shore, and demanded that she find him a place to sleep on the yacht. Miss O went with him to the cinema, which was commonly used as an extra sleeping area, and he allegedly blocked her from exiting. She described Christian getting physical and extremely aggressive, cornering her and allegedly groping her despite her pushing back. He allegedly removed his clothes, exposed his erect penis, and physically tried to force her to perform oral sex on him. She began fighting him, and then one of her colleagues entered the cinema, startling Christian. Miss O was able to leave. She said she was only seriously bruised as a result of the attack. She said she was seriously bruised as a result of the attack, that she did not consent to any of the sexual assault or misconduct, and that she was drugged and intoxicated by Christian. Images of her bruising were also included in the complaint. Ms. O said she complained to the yacht captain the next morning, but alleged that he berated her, lacked compassion or concern, failed to investigate, and insisted that she was probably voluntarily partying with the guests. She says she was not. After the incident, Ms. O said she was assigned to work the front of the house, which required her to personally serve Christian Combs while he was aboard the yacht. She also alleged that the captain received a generous tip from Diddy to keep him quiet and from protecting Ms. O or taking action on her behalf. She alleged that Diddy fostered and encouraged an environment of debauchery and did not have any safeguards in place to ensure that there was no excessive drug use, no excessive drinking, and no importation of purported ex-workers. He intentionally created an unsafe environment that gave license to Christian Combs and his friends to believe he was free to actually assault her, and allowed him and his friends to behave carelessly as they observed and mimicked his actions. She said the alleged assault deeply impacted her mental health as well as her professional and personal life. She alleged that as a result of the alleged attack, her mental health deteriorated. She experienced anxiety and panic attacks and had severe suicidal ideations. The lawsuit said she claimed the emotional strain also affected her physical health and that she developed an eating disorder and epileptic seizures after the incident. Listen, when you are around a parent or you're raised by a parent that, because I believe the things that they said that Diddy did with Cassie, these other people, I believe it. And when you were raised by a person, and it's all alleged. Well, he settled with Cassie. It's Cassie. So, but I believe when you are raised by a person like that, you can take on that kind of stuff. So I would not be surprised if this was true and all this was happening. I will say them having audio that they submitted, baby, they may get him before they get Diddy, the son. Because if they have audio and can hear all this going on, that's crazy. And the fact that the captain just kind of dismissed it, but I'm not surprised because of who it is. You know, people are enamored by being a part of the celeb world and what have you. So I wouldn't be surprised if he reprimanded her and then turned around and made her wait on the front of the house, which had her in direct contact with him. I watched a Below Deck episode where a guy was continually trying to touch on one of the stews, and I can't remember the stew, but I remember the head steward. I can't remember what that's called. The main steward person removed her and had her work somewhere else so that she didn't have contact with this guest. Guest was touching on her, making all these comments. Like, it was extremely uncomfortable, even just to watch. And so that the head stew or chief stew moved her so she wouldn't have to be in contact because she didn't find it funny. It's not like, I don't understand when people are going to get it through their head. You just can't put your hands on people. I used to work in an all men's clothing store, and we sold like Fat Farm, you know, all the clothes, the Echo, Sean Combs, all that stuff. And the guys would come in there with their money and they would think that they had access to you. And I remember one time I had on a halter dress, like a little thin halter dress, because the owner wanted us to dress up on Saturday and Friday nights and Saturdays, because that's when the dudes would come in there with their money, right? And it was all women and just two guys, two handsome guys, and they were basically there. I mean, they worked too, but there for the security, and we would get harassed. And I remember this guy came in and he was trying on shoes. And I went to get him the shoes, and he just literally untied the back of the top of my halter. I had quick reaction and I caught before it could fall. When I tell you, I wanted to fight him. I mean, went off, like they had to separate it, because there was a part of me that was, even though nothing was shown, I felt so like violated and humiliated. Like, how dare you think that you can just put your hands on me and then untie the top of my dress. Like I said, I caught it, but I was ready to fight. And I know they say men are stronger than women, but I'm going to tell you, I would have smashed his head. We're not even going to get into all that. But I remember having that feeling of me being ashamed, even though I didn't even do anything wrong. And my manager being like, I'm sorry, that shouldn't have happened. But he spends a lot of money in here. It was just one of those things like, wow. And then he tried to apologize after that. Like some weeks went by and he tried to apologize because of course the manager let him come back in and was like, I just really like you and want to take you out. Nick, what? So I just can't imagine how these women feel in these situations. Then you have somebody like Puffy and all these celebs. And if these people are watching what's going on and nobody's there, you feel like helpless. So I hope that if all this is true and this happened to Miss O, that she gets, compensated for all of that and that his son gets everything coming to him. Now, I want to talk about this. The lawyer that's representing her is the same lawyer that's representing Little Rod. So we know with the Little Rod case, I believe some of that stuff happened. The stuff with the Stevie J thing where, he said Stevie J was in an X tape, but it was actually a porn star that came out and said that's me. But I do believe a lot of that stuff happened. But it's interesting because a judge seems like he's getting a little tired of Mr. Blackburn. So according to Billboard, lawyer behind Diddy's sexual abuse case criticized by judge over pattern of salacious case filings. A judge says Tyrone Blackburn, lead counsel in a high-profile case against Sean Combs, aimed, to embarrass defendants with salacious allegations. So it says, give me 1 second. I was trying to, oh my goodness. One of those things where it makes you try to log in or subscribe. I'm not doing that. But basically, actually, I have it on another thing. I can get it into you right here. So basically, he was chastised. Tyrone Blackburn, the lawyer, was chastised in a Wednesday court filing by the New York judge Denise Cody and referred to the grievance committee. So a judge did a court filing, again, New York Judge Denise Cody, and referred him to the grievance committee for the Southern District of New York after receiving repeated admonishments from another judge in a separate case. The attorney, known for his cases against celebrities, has brought lawsuits against rappers Nicki Minaj, T.I., and his wife Tiny, and comedian Tiffany Haddish. Wow. Diggs said of the new lawsuit, this case, so I guess the new lawsuit with Mrs. O, the woman, this case, just like others, should be viewed on the merits and not against other attorneys as a means of distraction. So I'm going to read that again. So basically, in an unrelated action, unrelated to the case from this woman, Tyrone Blackburn was chastised in a Wednesday court filing by New York Judge Denise Cody and referred to the grievance committee for the Southern District of New York after receiving repeated admonishments from another judge in a separate case. So I didn't realize that he had already been admonished by another judge, and now he's being admonished by this judge. And I'm just wondering if that could hinder the cases in any way. If they're saying that he is just being salacious, has a pattern of salacious case filings, will that cause them to not really take this news or all of this seriously? You know what I mean? One would hope not, but you just never know. Let's get into something else. Right as I was getting ready to record this, my boo, Carlos Harris, shout out to Carlos Harris, sent me a message, and it was about Diddy and his finances. According to the New York Post, Diddy faces cash crisis with billionaire lifestyle, soaring lawyers' fees, and no obvious income. Less money, no problems. Sean Diddy Combs appears to be facing a cash crisis as hefty legal bills mount and income from lucrative partnership dries up. Analysis of Diddy's finances by the Post shows Diddy still lives the expensive lifestyle of a high-profile rap star, despite the FBI raid, which he called a witch hunt on his home, and an ex-trafficking probe amid a series of civil suits. He was about to board one. one private jet in Miami when SWAT teams stormed into his homes in Miami and Beverly Hills last month, while the Gulfstream he owns was last spotted in Antigua. So then it talks about his finances. The Post analysis puts Diddy's total annual bills conservatively at $35 million per year. So it puts his bills, what he owes, $35 million per year, without the impact of his secret settlement with Cassie. With Cassie. But I believe Cassie was paid out from insurance. Like, he didn't pay that directly out of his pocket. That came from insurance. Was it the record label insurance? Whatever it was, I believe she was paid out of insurance, not out of his pocket. And in 2023, the core of his income, a lucrative deal with drinks giant Diageo for his vodka and tequila brands, hit the rocks. His family is also likely to be an increasing financial drain on him. Diddy is a father of 7, 4 under 18. And while he currently has no long-term partner, he is believed to pay for the upkeep of several exes. And in another financial threat, his son, Christian King Combs, was sued in Los Angeles Thursday. He denies this and calls this a lewd and meritless claim. So they're basically trying to say that he's probably helped footing the bills for that, but he's also named in the lawsuit. The biggest single source of Diddy's wealth for almost 2 decades was his partnership with drinks giant Diageo. It brought in cash first from 2007 through being a 50-50 partner in the Ciroc vodka brand, and then from 2013 by jointly buying De Leon tequila. As part of his 2007 deal with Diageo, gave him 50% of Ciroc's profits, and he was also given a marketing budget to promote the alcohol of as much as $15 million a year, according to Bloomberg, which he used for lavish parties on yachts at his homes and around the country. So a lot of the times we see these parties and he has the liquor there, it could have been coming out of that money that was given to him to promote. So that's sort of like Toya and the certain amount of cases she gets every year to promote her wine, Toya from Married to Medicine. In May 2023, Diddy sued the company, British-based alcohol giant, alleging that he was being treated as a second-class partner to the other celebrity booze pitchmen like George Clooney because of his race, setting up a bitter battle in which Diageo revealed he had been paid $1 billion since 2007. He enlisted Reverend Al Sharpton to paint his fight as one that would help the entire Black community. It's like a slave master being a slave, Sharpton said of Diago's relationship with Combs. It's like a slave master beating a slave, I'm sorry. But after getting slapped with a series of lawsuits starting last November, which alleged he assaulted, and trafficked women, Diageo had clear legal momentum. Among the claims in the lawsuits were that women were assaulted at the private parties funded by Diageo, and which had gift bags, X toys, body chocolate, and strippers. Diddy dropped his suit in January of this year, with the drinks firm taking complete control of the brands, suggesting they effectively scored a complete legal victory, leaving him with no future income. So then it goes into the fallen media empire he had. So now he's lost his money, his deal with the liquor company, right? That's gone. So he's not getting that yearly income. The highest profile of those other companies in recent years was Revolt TV, a cable channel which Diddy and other undisclosed investors set up in 2013. Cable channels can be lucrative cash cows. Isn't Ray J Get Ray start his own channel? When managed well, because their owners receive a cable carriage fee, a share of people's cable payments. I didn't know that. Which is a steady and predictable income on top of which they sell advertising. In 2013, Forbes reported his stake to be above 50% and suggested that he could be seeing as much as $12.5 million a year in income from Revolt. It later also spawned a website, but when Diddy's ex Cassie accused him of R and X trafficking last November, Diddy stepped down as chairman. Last month, TMZ reported that he offloaded his stake in Revolt to an anonymous buyer for an undisclosed sum. The fall of Revolt was not his only media disaster. At the time that he was sued, a reality show, which was due to be produced for Hulu about Diddy's life, was canned. Businesses also quickly cut ties with his marketplace for Black business Empower Global. But perhaps the more bitter personal blow for Diddy now will be that Bad Boy Records, which powered his rise through the 90s, with hits both from him and its top-ranked artists, most famously the Notorious B.I.G., is just a shadow of itself. Diddy sold a 50% stake to Warner Brothers Music in 2005 for an undisclosed sum. A 2001 valuation suggested it was worth $100 million. But in recent years, it has failed to retain or sign major names. Aside from Diddy, whose last releases were flops, its biggest artist is Machine Gun Kelly. Diddy was trying to revive Sean John. I remember, a once successful clothing brand that he sold for $70 million in 2016 and bought out of bankruptcy for just 7.5 in 2021. While the company website proclaims, "I got my name back," Diddy had yet to introduce new collections or post any of the existing clothes on the Sean John website or Instagram. While the clothes can still be purchased on Amazon, Walmart, and List, Macy's has halted the sales. So they're talking about, now his businesses. Then he talks about the A-list money pits, his Gulfstream 550, cost $60 million up front, but it's an additional 3.5 million a year to maintain. They talk about the yacht, how much that would be. The yachts on which he has been seen hosting on cost up to $300,000 a week to charter, suggesting that his annual yacht bill is north of $1 million. He has two homes, $35 million and a $40 million, and he's on the hook, y'all, for almost $100 million in loans to Bank of America. Remember that, because he took out mortgages on those homes. So he already owes them nearly $100 million, which are due to expire in 2029 and 2036. That costs him nearly $8 million a year. Then they talk about him supporting his family, and then his new biggest bill, his lawyers. So I will say this, although I do feel like he's probably hemorrhaging money now, I also believe somewhere in some offshore account, Diddy got money sitting somewhere. But if you don't, I don't feel sorry for him. You caused all of this, sir. Child, whatever you do in the dark comes to light. The chickens are coming home to roost, all of that. Last thing, is it a Baywatch? Aoki Lee Simmons seemingly reacts after she spotted kissing 65-year-old businessman Vittorio Asaf. Let's talk about it, y'all. According to the Shade Room. So this says, I'm reading the Shade Room. According to page 6, the 21-year-old was photographed, which we all saw, kissing Asaf during a romantic vacation in St. Barths on Tuesday, April 2nd. The photos show Simmons in a green bikini while Asaf dons white and blue swimming trunks. The pictures, which are currently exclusively retained by the outlet, show the pair locking lips on multiple occasions. Additionally, photos also show Asaf taking pictures of Aoki on his cell phone and the pair enjoying screen time. Page 6 adds that they have reached out to representatives for both Asaf and Simmons. However, they have yet to receive comment. Meanwhile, People reports that a source has confirmed that the pair are dating. Aoki and Vittorio are spending time together and enjoying each other's company. Sorry, y'all, my alarm. Enjoying each other's company, the anonymous source revealed, adding that the pair allegedly met while vacationing in St. Barths. So Aoki kind of did react a little bit. On Friday, April 5th, she took to her Instagram story to seemingly react to the reports of her romance with the 65-year-old. The 21-year-old snapped a photo of her apparently sitting on a couch next to a friend. E-R-R-R. Well, now I know why folks are calling me, she wrote. Listen, when I first saw the picture, I'm just going to be honest and tell you, my very first thought, I thought of her father and their contentious relationship, and thought of, is it daddy issues? This older man, this 65-year-old man, and she's 21, this 44-year age difference. I thought about that. And then I thought about her mom and her dad when they met. Like, when you around this stuff, I don't know. Let's listen to what some of the social media users had to say. One said, in 20 years, she'll be disgusted with him and tell us all the horrible she endured while being with him. Y'all say secure the bag until the bag is actually secured. What y'all want? I'm confused. Somebody said, sprinkle, sprinkle. Somebody said, there's not enough money in the world. Baby, what are you doing? I get she's 21 and can do what she wants. But somebody else said, I don't believe for 1 second Miss Kimora Lee would let that ish ride. I don't know. Again, think about when she met Russell. Maybe I don't know. I don't know. Somebody else said, what's this? An older rich man dating a young, beautiful woman? Why? That's never happened before, except for the other 10 million times in human history in countries all over the world. So it seems like some people are okay with it, saying, hey, let her do her thing. This happens all the time. And others are like, that's just disgusting. I'm with them for so many different reasons. But what do y'all think? What do y'all think about all the stories? What do y'all think about Justin Combs, or was it Christian Combs? Christian being hit with an SA lawsuit. Again, they didn't turn in some audio to go along with it. What do y'all think about Diddy possibly being broke, and Aoki out here with her 43-year-old age difference? Y'all let me know what y'all think. I'm about to get back on this road. Y'all pray my strength in the Lord, because folks is out here wilding. I love y'all, and I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.